Good evening, Monica.
Hi, how are you?
Good. How are you?
I'm okay.
You can hear me all right?
I can. How about you?
Yeah. You got sounds like a dishwasher, maybe. Oh no.
Nope, I've got nothing running, but
No, I'm just gonna mute my YouTube. Pause that.
what happened? There we go. There we are. Okay.
Hearing any feedback on your end from me, are you?
No.
For some reason I was having an echo. How long has Life Path been over there in Colvin?
It'll be 2 years in March. Yeah, we were at Essex Street for about 10 and then down at Delaware for like 20, 30 years, Delaware Ave.
Good evening. Hello, Zachary. Can you hear me?
Hi, is that Ray?
Yes.
How are you?
Pretty good. A little tired. So excuse me if I fall asleep. I've been shoveling.
I think most of us have been.
Yes, probably. I got a new dog the other day who had never been in snow before. So I was trying to shovel while he was going berserk and wanting to play. So shoveling with a dog jumping on you is exhausting. Zach, you were very quiet at last night's meeting, wait a minute. This is my third meeting this week. Tuesday night, you were very quiet
Tuesday night.
at the Park South meeting.
Oh, it was my first time going to Park South, so I was just kind of listening in.
Park South Neighborhood Association has been run by Andrew Harvey for like the last 24 years. And it's probably one of the best, most productive neighborhood associations in the city. Andrew Harvey does an absolutely wonderful job.
All right. So, Zachary, how many people are you expecting?
I don't think he can hear us very well.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear you loud and clear, Ray. I don't see you, but I hear you. Can you see me?
I can see you and hear you fine.
Okay. You just don't have your camera on.
I don't have a camera on this computer. And the
So can
links.
everybody hear me now?
I can hear you now.
Okay, hi folks. How are you?
Oh, wait a minute. Now we got two of you.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to hold on one second. Yeah, there we go. How's that?
Much better. One is overwhelming, and two is just too much for my heart.
Oh well. Hi Stephanie, how are you?
Good. How are you?
Good to see you. So what was happening was I'm streaming this to YouTube on my laptop, and then I'm streaming it from my tablet, which is logged into YouTube. I'm streaming it to Facebook pages, and there was a echo. Like you would say, "Hello, how are you?" And then like 6 seconds later, "Hello, how are you?" Same volume. So when everybody was talking just a few seconds ago, it was like echo, 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 echo. So I had to mute my laptop and get on my phone.
Oh boy. Quite the task there. We have been playing with Zoom ourselves, and I'm just very lucky. I have a number of younger staff who really get it. So I'm still, I'm lucky if I can get on and have a conversation. But we've been doing some Zoom classes for our older adults, and it can be quite a production.
Yeah, how are they with the Zoom technology?
Different degrees, different degrees. Some of them we help get on all the time. Others have it down pretty packed. They're used to FaceTiming with their children and their grandchildren, so it's the gamut. The struggle.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, the struggle is that even though we have a lending library and we lend out computers and tablets, if you don't have internet, we just haven't been able to figure that out yet. We can't afford to buy people internet, and that's been a challenge for us, that there are a number of older adults who really want to do this and just don't have internet.
Well, I know that one of the council members is trying to get municipal internet for here in Albany, but I'm not sure where that's at.
What about the hotspots that you can get from the library?
I don't know much about that. I'll have to check and see if my staff has checked that in. We actually thought about purchasing some, but it just adds up to become expensive.
Yeah.
So library lends them out?
I believe they did, but I don't know how active the library is, with all the restrictions.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to have my staff look into that. Thank you, Ray.
You're welcome.
Hey, Bernie.
With the hotspots, you can borrow them on your card for 4 weeks. Each branch has a certain number of hotspots that they have available to lend out. You just, right now, don't have, the only thing they're doing curbside right now. They had to go back a step regarding in-library appointments. But if you call a particular branch where you want to pick it up from, you can arrange to do it, to get the pickup.
Awesome.
Hey. Hi, Paul. How are you?
Hey, Zach. Good evening. How's life?
Good to see you. Good to see you. Were you out and about today?
I was out shoveling for hours, just shoveling. That was my entire day.
Yeah, it was
How are you guys
crazy.
all
I started at 4 a.m. I was out 4 a.m.
You are better than me. I respect it.
I had to get to work. I was at work at 7. So. Hey, Pat.
Hi.
Let's see, we got Pat DeLio. Stephanie, what's your scene behind you there?
New York. Just a little bit of street art.
Is it Harlem or?
I believe it's Lower East Side, but it's pretty old.
Oh, okay, cool.
I don't think it's there anymore.
Hey Pat, how did your streets over in Melrose fare this morning?
They've been here a while, on and off, and I just didn't even know where to put my trash bins. I just put them in a little pathway and hope they take them, but I don't know.
No.
But I mean, they've definitely been here 3 times, I think. And can you see messages in the chat?
Yeah, what's your message here? Got requests from Laura to tell you she can't come, and can you include in the meeting tonight the neighborhood DGS info presented last time, she asked.
Just, I guess, in case people missed it, that they know about that. In case they watch this later.
Okay.
Thank you.
Hey, Michelle. Hey, Michelle. Hey, Tim.
Hey.
Good to see you. Hey, hi.
Hey, how you doing?
Good, good. Give it a couple more minutes here. All right, how's the shoveling over there?
Been chipping away at it all day. Not caught up yet though.
We've been taking turns.
How about you guys?
I just telling the group I started at 4 a.m.
You didn't have to go to work today, did you?
Yeah.
Oh, you did go in? Yeah.
Yep.
How did you get back in your driveway? Were the streets plowed when you came home?
Me?
Yeah.
Yeah, my street was plowed. This morning the plow didn't come through until about I would say 6:30, 6:45. So if you folks got the email about the holiday food drive, it looks like it may be postponed. The holiday food drive over on Hackett Boulevard. So we'll be sending something out because of the snow. All right. Well, I guess we could probably start the meeting. So how was everybody tonight? Happy holidays to you all.
Thank you.
See you. Welcome to our December 17th, 2020 Uptown Neighborhood Cooperative meeting. I'm Zach Simpson, the founder and coordinator, and I hope everybody fared okay today with the snowstorm. It was quite a significant snowfall. And I hope everybody's okay. So we have a couple of presenters tonight. We have Paul Collins Hackett. He's with the Red Bookshelf. He's the executive director, the new executive director, right? You've been in the position for just a little while. And then we also have Monica Beckman with Life Path, formerly Senior Services of Albany. So Paul, if you want to go first. Actually, Paul and I met, we both have been mentors in the Capital Region sponsor a scholar program. And that's where we first met each other. We had a little mentor-mentee get together at Albany High, and that's where we met. And we've crossed paths in the community because we both do a lot with community groups, community engagement, volunteerism. So I wanted to invite him here tonight to talk a little bit about his program. And Paul, you have the floor. Go ahead.
Well, first and foremost, thank you everyone for your time and allowing me the opportunity to kind of just touch base with you. And Zach's been doing a lot of cool stuff. And I know I'm in the right place when I see Zach in the room. I'm like, okay, I'm on the right track. So Zach, thank you for your efforts and everything that you do just for other people. So important. So thank you for that. So like Zach said, I am the new executive director of Red Bookshelf. For those who aren't familiar, the Red Bookshelf is a nonprofit organization in the South End. And our mission is just to increase literacy and engage young people in literacy in an organic way. We honestly believe that, if people are doing things and having fun while they're doing it, it takes away the having to teach aspect. You learn best while you're having fun. So we try and make books accessible to as many kids as possible. And we also try to motivate them. So what we do is we give away books. We have bookshelves that are set up in schools. They're set up in doctors' offices. They're set up, we go to community events and we just put up shelves. And all the books on our shelves are free. We give them away and we encourage kids to take as many as they want. And now, initially, even when I heard about the project, I was like, that's cool, but it's 2020. These kids are playing 3D hologram games, I don't know, on their phones. But, surprisingly, when we're out at events, we did watch kids put down their phones and the games and pick up books. And the books having something that they owned that told a story, it was very, very engaging. And I just saw that, oh, okay, this is something that we can foster. This is something that we can definitely grow and bring to scale. And I envision a city that's saturated with free books for everyone. So we're in talks to go to some corner stores and barber shops and salons and just other places. When COVID hit, typically, I think last year they gave like 75,000 books out or something crazy like that. This year with COVID, numbers were down. Obviously, a lot of the places where we had shelves weren't accessible. A lot of doctors' offices were closed to publics. There were no kids coming in and taking books. So we had to pivot. The incredible women who started my organization, Rachel and Mary Beth, they're the founders of the Red Bookshelf. And they really embody the community spirit and engagement that we need and that we want to see. So when COVID hit, they grabbed these red wagons, like the old school radio flyer wagons, and they packed as many books into the wagons as they could. And they went to the neighborhoods of the schools that were closed where the kids weren't able to access the books, so that the kids still could just come outside, see it, come out and grab a book. And that's around the time that I joined. And that was just an incredible experience for me, where I saw adults who were driving, they'd pull over their car and hop out just so they can grab some books too for their kids. I saw older kids, read, and I watched the younger siblings look at them and then go grab a book. So I started to just see that, there's definitely a path here to move forward where we can kind of just energize, the young people around reading. So next year, 2021, hopefully in a post-COVID world, we look forward to being able to reach out to more businesses, more schools, to have one. I want to have one in like every school, every floor of every school, every barbershop, everything ever. And we're going to have fun with it too, so we're going to incorporate music and art and some mural projects, and the kids are going to write scripts. And, it's just an effort to bring in as many people as possible in a real community collaborative fashion that meets the kids where they're at and connects art with literacy. We honestly believe that in that way, if we kind of plant those seeds, they will take it and run with it. And, third grade as an indicator just really shows, performance, education-wise, police interactions, a lot of different things. So we really focused our efforts there. And now, we're looking to grow and serve the entire family. So I'm looking for any and all opportunities. I love to partner with people. I love people who just, if you want to come and volunteer for a couple of minutes, we have ways for people to volunteer remotely and to still help us out with some things. We have different opportunities coming up. If people want to help write songs or dress as a superhero, anytime, any interest anyone has in helping out, if you want to donate books or help us with that, we take kids' books. We just want to get everybody involved. We're super excited. So thank you guys so much for allowing me the time to kind of share our vision with you. And I appreciate everything that you guys are doing.
Hey, Paul, where are you located now?
We're at 200 Green Street. So we're downtown, like right across from Giffen.
Yeah, I know where that is. Okay. Yeah.
Which worked for us because with all the shutdowns and whatnot, Giffen staff reached out to us and said, hey, listen, can you guys like maybe give away some extra books before we close or go away for the holidays? And we're like, absolutely. So what we've been doing is we go to the schools at dismissal time and we set up shelves with, 700 books, and we let the kids just come and take whatever they want, just to try and give them something when they're snowed in and when they're at home that they can still access the content. And then in that way too, we're also doing like a reading rainbow kind of thing, where we have people that are reading for about 15 minutes. You just read a kid's book on stage. And we just want to show people that, we really want to model that behavior. And, the more kids see it, they learn from what they see, not necessarily what we tell them. So if we model that behavior and we're really showing that, I think it'll go a long way. And then for me, it fits in with all my Batman stuff because, it's a comic book. So I get to talk about that all the time.
Yeah.
I have a question too. Me?
Oh,
Yep.
Go ahead.
I'll wait.
Are you in the shelters at all, like Marillac or the place in Menands?
Not as much, especially because of COVID. They were
Right.
really, really locked down. But I do work with the Skylar Inn in Menands. That's the one you're talking about, I'm guessing?
Yeah. Yes.
Yeah. I do work with the Skylar Inn and Marillac because those are only two family shelters
Right.
out here. So, okay. Also in my background, I work for St. Catherine's Center for Children. I worked at Marillac for 8 years too.
Oh, okay.
So it was absolutely, I'm like, I have to connect with those families. So
Yeah.
we're now working with St. Catherine's Center for Children because we have a program where we train people to kind of infuse literacy in their day-to-day lives. There's some things that are as tangible as when you're watching Netflix, put the captions on. You know, young people will actually read, they'll follow along, and just making those connections helps with understanding and processing and content and things like that. So we're working with St. Catherine's, and by way of working with Marillac, but also, you know, they have some respite programs, they have group residences, different things. So we're definitely reaching out to them. And actually, now that you mention it, on Sunday, my nonprofit, we're doing a holiday dinner out at the Skylar Inn. We do that every year, and we always bring books and we do crafts and activities. This year's a little different, but we definitely try to work with them. And I really want to pivot towards a family impact model, not just the young people, but the impact that has on a family is absolutely transformative. We've heard parents say that they learned to read with their kids while they were reading. So I'm really looking to double down on that impact well. And those shelters are the easiest places to do that. You know?
Excellent. Thank you.
Hey, Paul, one other question. Do you take, older adult books? You said children's books.
Yes and no. No, in the sense that typically the books that we give away on our bookshelves are young reader books, you know, third grade reading levels, say, 12 and under kind of thing.
Okay.
But I'll say yes, because in 2021, like I said, some of the programs that we're doing are more family focused. Right. So for example, we're working with a CEO. They're a company in downtown Albany on Broadway, I believe. Yeah, they're on Broadway. And what they do is they help formerly incarcerated individuals gain employment. That's always a burden when people come home from prison. It's like, what are you going to do? How do you get a job? That's always, thing. So CEO has the ability to hire them immediately. First day home, no questions asked, get right to work. That's very helpful. Now, we ran a program in the past that 60 participants in our program read for 15 minutes each day with their families before they were released. What we found was none of them reoffended post-release. So I said, if we add our reading and family reunification piece to the employment piece that CEO is doing, we have a great program in which people will not reoffend. They'll be in a better place to work with their families and be a part of that family unit. So in that case, we do have some adult books that we are taking, but they're kind of specific as far as career-oriented or how you start a business. I had somebody give me 50 books on customer service. And I'm like, those are books that I can give parents, if they're looking to make a career change, things like that. So not really adult novels per se, but if there's adult books that are maybe self-help or teach a skill or have a certain idea, that, yes, if that makes any sense.
Yeah, well, I was thinking I have a bunch of books on how to write and technical writing and stuff like that, which would fit in there.
Yes, that would be perfect. And the how and the why is always really important. Now, myself, I was an English major when I was in school. I swore I was going to be a teacher. But then I started working at Marillac, the family shelter, and I was like, oh, actually, I'll go help people instead. But we're able to kind of model how much we love literacy and showing people how to write and with that personal engagement involvement. It's everything. So yes, I love that book. Absolutely. Whatever you want to do, we'll take it.
All right. Thank you.
Who was that? Was that Ray?
Yeah, that was me.
Hey, Ray, what's going on, brother? How you doing?
I was wondering where you were hiding. What happened to the other groups that you were running? Are they still around?
I switched teams a little bit, bro. We haven't spoken a while, but new team, same mission.
Ah, okay. Switch hitter, huh?
Well, I'm on the CPRB now too, with some different things. So we'll catch up, bro.
I hope you get a lot of authority in there.
Fingers crossed. We'll see what happens. I'm cautiously optimistic, though.
Good luck.
Paul, just a question here. I don't know I think I'm on audio. Yeah. Can you indicate a place where we can drop off your materials? A convenient place where we can, if we have books and so forth, that we can just drop off to you?
Yeah, absolutely. What I'll do is I'll share. I'll have Zach share my email address and address and stuff like that. Just because with COVID, we're scheduling drop-off appointments. Right. We just want to be mindful of that. But we can definitely schedule a time. We'll get you in there and we'll take all that good stuff.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
And Paul, you take used books as well as new books, or is it just new books, or?
No, it's we definitely take used books. That's primarily what we get. And now what we do is the goal is not just to give someone a book for the sake of giving them a book. Because if I give a young person a book that's missing a cover and has swear words scribbled all over it, no. So what we do is we take books that are gently used, we clean them up. Sometimes, we repair the spine of the book if need be. We'll remove any stickers or glue. So we make sure that the books really are in almost new condition when we give them out, just because, that's very impactful. So we do take used books though, absolutely. This year, we actually did a book drive. We started in the beginning of October. We were going October and November. Our goal was to collect 10,000 books. And luckily we were able to collect 20,000 books. So that was super exciting and just really indicative of how involved the community is. So we'd love to keep that support coming, and we welcome all of that.
Anybody else have any questions?
Jack, nice hair, bro.
Paul, one group that I'm familiar with is Wizards Ward. Am I muted? You can hear me.
Jack's muted, and he has a whole Grinch thing that he's doing.
Oh, Jack. Paul, are you familiar with Wizards
Yes, I've got my
Wardrobe?
Grinch outfit if you want me to come and read to any of your kids.
Oh, I absolutely do want that. With our Reading Rainbow thing, bro. Oh, I absolutely would love that.
You let me know. I got the whole outfit.
Oh, yes. Let me write that down. Perfect. That'll be so much fun.
And I've got a green mask right here, folks. Green mask for the Grinch.
Oh.
That's great. I'm sorry. There was a question though?
Yeah, Paul. So one group that came to present to Cana, I think it was last year, was the Wizards Wardrobe. It was a children's literacy program where I believe they focus on children in the early elementary school years and focuses on getting them to have, proficient reading skills. And have you ever partnered with them at all?
Absolutely. Beautiful angel people. I love them. Eric actually came over and met when I joined the Red Bookshelf, because our offices are only a stone's throw away. So he came over to speak, and I guess they're a little different in the sense that they work more with volunteers as mentors with one-on-one relationships with young people. Ours is more of access piece where we, really ship out as many books as possible, trying to get books in the hands of kids. But they are incredible people. We definitely work together. And we've been talking about a training curriculum that's literacy based in our talks with UAlbany and some other things going on. So great people. We definitely connect, and I love them, and I hope they love me.
Great. And while we're on the subject of books, the executive director of the Albany Public Library has asked to come speak to our next cooperative meeting on January 21st. So
beautiful, my guy Scott. Good people. Good people.
Yeah.
You got a lot of cool friends, Zach.
Oh, sorry. What was that?
I said you got a lot of cool friends.
Danielle, something.
I just opened the door, let Gigi out. You didn't do your fucking car.
Oh. All right. Does anybody else have any questions? Well, Paul, thank you so much for coming to the cooperative tonight, and we really appreciated talking about the program. I'm excited about it, and they got a good man on board. So I'm really happy that they chose you. So
guys, so much for having me. If anybody wants to get in touch, Zach has my information. And if you guys have anything that we can support, please feel free to reach out. The mission come first. What we do defines it. So however we can help, guys.
Thanks a bunch, Paul. Appreciate it. Thank you. Okay. So the next speaker tonight is Monica Beckman, and she is with LifePath, formerly Senior Services of Albany.
Hi,
All right, Monica, go ahead.
how are you guys? When I say Life Path, most people don't know who I am, but a lot of people know Services of Albany. Senior Services of Albany has been around since 1952. And since 1952, our mission has been the same, to help older adults live as independently and as happily as possible. And we do all kinds of things, and those things change as the needs of our older neighbors and friends change. Right now, currently, COVID really impacts older adults significantly. And in March of 2020, we had to shut down all of our senior centers, all of our adult day programming, all of our educational programs. And in an instant, the world of many older adults suddenly shrank down to a very, very small space. So during that time, what we've been doing is tons and tons of reassurance calls. We've probably made over 10,000 calls. Even now, we've opened up some things. So we do some grab and goes. The centers were open. Our senior centers were open for about a month and a half. And then the city, the county decided that it's not safe and that we needed to go back to more of a grab and go model, which is we provide a meal, but not necessarily allow people into the centers to spend time together, which is actually very sad. We have over the last 2 months sort of adopted the whole Zoom idea, and we're running some Zoom programs. We're running about 3 a week for our people who attended our adult day programs that are very structured, and then another 3 to 4 every week for the general population of older adults. We do have a lending library that includes being able to lend someone a laptop or a tablet. We got a grant from the United Way to buy about 20 tablets, and CDPHP gave us about 20 laptops. So we have about some equipment for that. And individuals are able to join us either with their own equipment or with the equipment that we lend them. Excuse me. As long as they have access to the internet, which we were talking about earlier, which is a bit of a challenge, but I learned that the libraries, may be able to help us with that, which was awesome. We are probably best known for our Meals on Wheels program. To the height of the epidemic in March, April, and May, we were doing about 800 meals a day. So cooking them fresh in our kitchen down at the south end, packaging them up and deliver them. And we were so lucky because so many of the individuals who weren't able to go to work actually volunteered with us. And for months into August and even early September, we had over 45 volunteers help us in addition to the regular staff. Around September 1st, the county's really been struggling financially, so they sort of pulled back a little bit. They allowed us to reopen the centers with the hope that individuals could come. So our Meals on Wheels program went back down to about 300, 350, which is pretty standard generally. But unfortunately, in November, they pulled that back. We are now doing grab and goes. The adult day program we have 2 of them, one in Cohoes and one here on Colvin Avenue. They have not been open since March. We bring our guests packages and activities, and again, try to engage those who are able in Zoom programming, and we speak to them every day, but we have not been able to have them at our location. Our administrative offices are on Colvin Ave, but we have 8 community dining centers across Albany, Bern, Waterville, Cohoes, and the city of Albany. We run 4 sort of fully operational senior centers. 2 adult day programs. We have 2 master level social workers to help individuals with some of the challenges of getting older and managing to get through the various systems. We have a full-time high cap counselor, and they do, believe it or not, with her group of volunteers, she assists about 1,500 people every year during open enrollment to help them make decisions about their best health care options and the choices. So we do that. We run a lot of educational programs, most of them at our senior center, but also anywhere else where we're asked to do so. We have an evidence-based 6-week falls prevention program. We run a 2-week diabetes management program, and then all kinds of other programs, recreational, educational, to provide opportunities for older adults to gather in groups and have a little fun and to learn something. So, that's basically it. And COVID has been extremely challenging, as all of you know. But we keep reaching out and working with the individuals who need assistance. Unfortunately, most of it is over the phone, with the exception of the grab and goes and the meals that we deliver every single day.
Has anything ever replaced the senior center on Delaware Avenue?
It has not. It has not. The closest thing that we operate as a senior center really is out of Westview. So Westview Park, we were there before we were shut down with COVID. We were there Monday through Friday from 10 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon. So that was pretty much the closest to a place where you could go during the course of the day, have a meal, and engage in all kinds of activities, cards playing, as I said, talks, music, things like that. The senior center and the Waterville Center are self-standing centers in the traditional sense, but there's not that many of those around anymore because there's really no funding for senior centers. It's very hard. The funding comes from, there is funding for the meals, and that generally has to pay for the meals and the prep of the meals and the food, and then anything else you're doing at that particular center, and it just doesn't cover.
Right.
Yeah.
But I knew an awful lot of people who would go down to Delaware Avenue just about every day.
And that's still the case at Cohoes and Waterville. You know, those are the only 2 in the area that I'm familiar with that are that consistent and are there for, you know, from like in the morning to the late afternoon.
Yep.
Yep.
That's a shame.
Yep. My understanding is that the mayor's really looking, the opening mayor is looking to open something in the West End. So I don't know a lot about that, but rumors has it that something should be happening in 2021 in that area. Right. It isn't with us, so I believe they found, you know, they're working with a different partner, but I hear that that's definitely in the works.
I heard that rumor too, but that was months ago.
Yeah, I don't know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
I just wanted to mention, Monica, that I think it was our last meeting, Michael Burgess with Community Caregivers was on. Have you ever met with Michael before?
We've worked together on many small projects throughout. Yep.
Good, because we're gonna start collaborating through through Cana and I guess the Village Steering Committee and Community Caregivers with collaborating. So hopefully we can rope you in.
Yep, we actually opened the very first village in Albany officially, and that was at the Livingston Apartment. So we've been part of that village program for many years.
Can you tell the group kind of like a Reader's Digest of what a village really is?
So a village is a movement that has taken off where community members such as yourselves get together and decide that they want to actively do something that engages the older adults in their community and helps them stay in the community. And it is driven and directed by the individuals who become a member. So it's a membership organization. The dues are anywhere from $20 to a couple of $1,000, depending on what community you join. And they do everything from the most basic stuff, which is just hold gatherings, have a picnic, have a book club, to actually managing, providing people transportation, helping people with basic chores, having a registry of sort of handy people that are vetted, that can go into a community and help an older adult. A very functioning village may have right now a relationship with a maybe Boy Scout troop, and they would go and help older adults shovel the driveways and things like that. So they're all very, very different, depending on what is needed in the community and depending on who's part of the community. The ones who are functioning well have volunteers that span the age, from families with children to middle-aged adults and older adults. And the philosophy is that everyone has something to give, even someone who's bedridden can make phone calls, and everyone at some point in their lives, if they are lucky to live long enough, will need some sort of assistance. And the community comes together around that and provides it. And I love that model. I was born in Austria, and that's the way it worked. We lived in a small Alpine community, and the old gentleman who lived down the street, my mother cooked and brought him food, and he would help tend the chickens, and everybody had a role. And it wasn't like, asking for a handout. Everybody played a role in the community, and everybody was valued, and everyone was respected. And the village movement is trying to bring that back into the neighborhoods. Did that
Great.
help me? Okay.
Right. Does anybody else have any questions for Monica?
Well, thank you for your time.
Thanks, Monica, so much, and we'll be in touch, okay? Thank you. Thanks for coming tonight. Thanks for coming to Cooperative.
Very welcome. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye-bye. Okay. So I see we have Lieutenant Joe McDade with the Albany Police Department on. Would you like to tell the group a little bit what's going on in town?
Hey, Zach, how you guys doing? So,
Good.
Justin and Dan Viet were not able to make the meeting tonight with the weather. They're extremely busy, so they send their apologies on that. And I asked them if they had anything that was of note that they wanted me to report to you guys. And they said, no, it's been relatively quiet. So there's nothing major for me to report to you today, which is, I guess, is a good thing.
That's good. All right. Just and nothing with the snowstorm. That's.
I guess the snow emergency starting tomorrow, and I think it's starting at 8 a.m. Where generally it usually starts at 8 p.m. So we got some of my officers out helping with the snow emergency starting at 8 a.m. tomorrow.
Why did that change to 8 a.m. instead of
I don't
the
know.
evening? Is that going to be harder for people, I think, or not?
I'm not positive. It's the first time I've heard of that. So we were kind of scrambling to get some officers together to start that tomorrow morning. I'm not sure if that's always going to be the case, but I guess it's that's what they're doing tomorrow. Probably just with the excessive amount of snow that we got today. It's probably what you're headed that.
All right.
Interesting. All right, everybody's good. All right, thank you, officer. Thank you, Lieutenant McDade.
By the way, so you said Scott's coming to next. Scott, he's the director of the library.
Yes.
He's a really good guy. He gives a very informative speech to you guys. So I'm sure he's gonna have a lot of good information for you guys. He's good to talk to.
Yeah, I understand that they're kind of rolling back some of their reopening because of the uptick in COVID. So. Thank you, sir. All right. So let's see, a couple other things going on. Those that are interested in the Colvin Avenue development, it's going to be at a public hearing on December 22nd from the planning board. We looked at the materials recently. Not seeing too many changes from what we saw last time. So if you're interested, it's at December 22nd. Let's see what else is going on.
Anything with the plasma center again? Did they appeal it?
So, sorry, was that somebody?
No, I was just going to say the court upheld the plasma on it, but Zach, you can go into more in detail.
Yeah, so the owners of Hannaford Plaza, where they've been trying to get for over 2.5 years a for-profit for a plasma center in Hannaford Plaza. The owners of the Hannaford Plaza sued, they believe, the Common Council, the City of Albany, and what, the planning board? The planning board. And I believe there was a decision recently where they did throw out some of the causes of action. Is that right? So,
Can you please repeat that? I didn't hear what you said.
Oh, sorry. So there was an Article 78 lawsuit by the owners of Hannaford Plaza against the Common Council, the City of Albany, the planning board, challenging the ordinance that Councilman O'Brien and they passed, and there was an override of the mayor's veto. So Judge Lynch made a decision, and so I believe there's going to be a response from the owners of Hannaford Plaza.
Yeah. Can I?
Sure.
Zach?
Go ahead. Sure. Hi.
Yeah. I just joined the meeting last month, and missed the information about the development. Is it possible just give a brief summary? Is this what you're talking about, the entrance of the park, that part that the lawyer from the corner, he bought the places? I talked to him once. He says he's building some townhouses and then some apartment buildings. Is that old news?
It's not townhouses anymore. It's
Okay.
two buildings. One is 3 stories and one is I believe maybe 1.5 stories.
Okay.
It's I think 63 units and commercial, 63 apartments, 1 and 2 bedrooms, and commercial space, and I think 63 parking spots.
Okay. Is that the senior living or just a regular apartment?
No, it won't be senior living.
Okay. And he was talking, when I talked to him, that the first floor would be like retail shops, that kind of thing. Is that still?
The first floor will probably be, it's commercial, and I think the idea was maybe some sort of like restaurant.
Okay.
Or use like that.
Yeah. Okay.
But there's a concern about they want to do a right turn only onto Anthony Street, which is the entrance to the park, and there's a concern about that. So we have to look at that. We also have to look at the fact that the plan doesn't have very much green space. It's pretty much taken over the whole parcel.
Oh, so it's not a go ahead yet. It's still in the processing of discussing. Because from what he was talking, it's almost like he's cleaning the land, and it's almost like the building will start. So in terms of time frame, what is it?
As far as time frame, it might be a little bit of time, because there was an issue with the fact that there is certain toxic metals, heavy metals, and toxic chemicals that are buried there. They had to do additional testing.
Okay.
which they did do, and it seems like it's ready to move forward. So there'll probably be a few, like maybe a handful more meetings still to come.
Yeah. So if it's a go ahead, it will be like in 2 years, something will be done in 2 years or.
Hey, Zach, I can jump in too.
Yes, thanks, Hyde.
Yeah,
This is
no problem. This is Hyde Clark. I'm president of the Upper Washington Avenue Neighborhood Association, but I'm also a land use and zoning attorney. So they're still at the planning department phase. So what they need is they still need final site plan and special use permit approval for that. And so they've revised the plan a number of times. They've had to do additional testing. They've changed the plan a number of times. So what Zach was noting is that they're coming back to the planning board for the first time in a few months. So, I don't see it getting approved this month. It could be if they've wrapped everything up, maybe there's a vote next month. So the planning board meets once a month for a public meeting, and they also have a workshop meeting. So they can only vote at the meeting that's the fourth Tuesday of the month.
Okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Hey, Zach.
Go ahead, Ray.
I was wondering if people knew that there was a lake there at one point, and basically where the Armory Garage is, used to be a summer amusement center with swimming and everything else, and the stream still goes through there someplace. What impact will, if any, will covering up all that green space make on flooding problems? Has anybody looked into that? I know they did a lot of work right there at the beginning of Anthony Street and directly across from there. What's the
So Ray, that work was done by the city of Albany, wasn't in connection with that development. So kind of unrelated, the work that was done right at Colvin, but they're disturbed. Depending on the disturbance, I think they have to do a stormwater prevention plan. So they'll have to address that, and they also have to address any environmental impacts. So I'm sure if there was a lake there, it's been identified
it's not
in the seeker.
Since like 1900.
Yeah. So that should come up in seeker. I don't think they've made a state environmental quality review decision yet. But Mike's raised that from the start, so I think the board's definitely aware of it.
I hope so.
Zach, I can jump back on the plasma too. So
Sure.
So there's a decision by the state Supreme Court, and the developer would have an opportunity to appeal that decision to the appellate division. They have a certain time period to make that. So at this point, we have a decision from the Supreme Court. It upheld the council's legislation for the most part. The one thing that was left open was the setback amount, which was set at 1,000 feet. But that would take an additional submission from the developer. So as of right now, unless the landowner or developer does something, that's going to be the decision. So we just have to wait and see if it's appealed or if additional motions are made.
That sounds like Costco too, because Costco was approved by the town and then the residents filed in Article 78 and they won.
Correct. Yep.
And I think Save the Pine Bush filed a second lawsuit against Pyramid Corporation in the town of Guilderland.
Yeah, I mean, they can still appeal it. It could still go on, but it's nothing soon where it looked like, they had started land clearing like the guy on Calvin, and it looked like it was going to go up, but now it might take longer or might not happen.
I think they'll probably get an appeal in the in that decision. That was It pretty lengthy decision, but I can't imagine that the developer doesn't appeal that. So we'll have to keep an eye on it.
You're talking about Pyramid Heights?
Yeah, the pyramid, just because
Yeah.
it's the town in Article 78 is given a lot of deference. And so they, just based on what they did look at, it was surprising the court's decision. So I can't imagine that they're not going to appeal. So we'll just have to see when that goes through.
Right.
Hi, just for a moment. I don't know if you can hear me.
Hey, Alan.
Yeah, just for a moment, going back to Colvin Avenue development once again. Now, land was cleared along Colvin, not an awful lot for the depth that would be required for 2 apartments plus ample parking space. So would that mean they're going to cut back further into what is Westland Hills property, or so seems Westland Hills?
So they did very limited tree clearing.
Okay.
So it'll absolutely be a lot more than what's been done.
Okay.
They did some tree clearing to do soil testing because
All right. Okay.
the environmental issue was raised. But this, if you see the site plan, it's pretty much everything gets cleared right out, and maybe they add in a little bit more green space. But
okay,
it's pretty much it's going to be a full knockdown.
Okay, but it doesn't necessarily encroach upon Westland Hills, though, does it?
They actually found out that part of the dog park is on the private property.
Okay.
So I've asked the developers to potentially make some improvements to the dog park as part of their application and get it fully onto the park property.
Okay.
But other than that, it's kind of runs right along Anthony Street, that entrance right up to the dog park, and then goes back towards Rosemont and up Coleman.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Does anybody have anything else to add tonight?
Zach,
Yes.
anything new on the Stewarts?
I know Councilman O'Brien is working on changing the zoning of those two families that were going to be taken down from mixed use neighborhood center to residential 2-family. And that's going to be going to the Common Council Planning, Economic Development, Land Use Committee. A couple of weeks.
That should be January, beginning of January.
January.
And it has that zoning change has been referred to the planning board, and the planning board it wasn't a full vote in favor. They asked the council to look at another zoning district also, but in terms of Stewart's, the Stewart's application was denied for the second time, and the indication is that they will not appeal that. So I think the Stewart's is done.
Yay.
And this is Pat. I was just going to ask Vince, since I see him on here. I saw some activity on Western by Tudor with that project for the housing. Is that going forward soon?
I don't know if it's going forward soon, but that 1211 Western Avenue has the okay to do 3 things: to abate the asbestos out of the building, to take the building down, and to do the infrastructure. They're the big sewer pipes that are at the end of that development. But they cannot do anything. Tom Hoey, Councilman member Tom Hoey, has a letter stating that nothing can be done with the new building until somebody comes back and says they can or they cannot bury the lines.
Okay.
So with that being said, I want to tell you, as far as we know, that nothing is on National Grid's desk pertaining to burying the line. If you notice, I say the line, that's singular. There's 7 lines on that pole. So I don't know what the other 6 are going to do, but there are 7 lines, number one. Number two, right now, that the transformer that's on the pole, there's not enough room or on 1211 to do what they have to do. They have to build this big box. And I understand it takes quite a bit of land. Well, the developer used the entire footprint of 1211 Western Avenue. So I don't know where they're going to get the land for that, for the transformer. So there's a lot of big questions. And also, I want to go back to the Crossgate where P.D. Lynch ruled in favor of the 2 residents and Red Cap gasoline station with this Article 78. There's a lot of things that was brought out in his rejection of Crossgates in the apartment complex that could possibly pertain to some of the developments we have in the city, where he come out and said that we can overrule the USDO, the Common Council, not me, but the USDO can overrule the USDO. So we don't need to have, if the Common Council says that they don't care for anything in the USDO, well, they are the supreme, they are the rulers. I don't know what's going to happen with 1211, but that's where 1211 stands now. Thank you.
Thanks, Vince.
Hey, Vince, what about that Chase Bank? That went up quick, huh?
I did.
The Chase Bank. Did we lose him?
Zach, I hear you now.
Oh, I was asking about the Chase Bank. Is that open?
Oh, yes. Thank you, Zach. The Chase Bank is up and running. They had a very soft opening. I think it was due to the COVID-19, but they're up and running. And I want to tell you, it's a beautiful addition to our area. It really complements our area. If you look at some of the things that they did, where the planning board gave them such a hard time, if you, at the back of it, which is all green space, it's more than what the USDO wanted. And also underneath that green space are big catch basins to catch any runoff that's going to go there. So again, Zach, we can't talk enough about the Chase Manhattan Bank because it definitely is neighborhood friendly. Thank you.
Good. All right.
I was just going to add that website that Maura wanted us to remind people of, but I don't really know the name of the website. There was a presentation at a previous meeting.
It was the neighborhood portal.
Right, and I just don't know what the website is, but it's Albany Neighborhood something, and it gives you information about what's going on at DGS and links to other city programs and services.
Right.
But I don't know the web address in my head, so.
Zach, I want to bring up also, I don't know if anybody knew that the water board had a meeting tonight to talk about the rate increase, 3.5%. So what does 3.5% represent? Well, it represents, like, I'm going to round these numbers off, $15 a year more in your water bill. And but that's an arbitrary number. I told them that tonight prior to your meeting here, because they go on an average water bill. Well, I said to them, it's only me and my wife, and I don't know what an average water bill looks like because we don't get an average water bill. It far exceeds what they said was an average water bill of $78 a quarter. So again, I just want to call that to everyone's attention. Do you know of anything that's going on with Zach? Do you know if anything's going on with 563 New Scotland? I have numerous people ask me, but I haven't heard anything. It seems like to be really quiet.
I have heard absolutely nothing about 563.
Okay,
Not a peep.
okay.
That's a good thing.
Yeah, I agree.
Right.
Yeah, I agree. So,
Hey Jack, I was telling the group, we're probably going to cancel the holiday food drive, right?
Yeah, we're probably gonna have to. I mean, I know we have a meeting tonight about it, but it probably is not the best thing right now.
Yeah.
We got more snow than obviously we all expected, but I don't know.
No, I agree.
Yeah.
Well, our intentions were good.
Right.
Oh, well. Well, folks, we're coming up on a 1 hour on the nose, which is right on time.
The speakers were great. Thank you very much.
You're welcome, everybody. And don't forget, Kawita Adams, Superintendent of Albany City Schools, is going to be at Cana. My very first meeting as Cana's new incoming chair.
Yeah, congrats to Zach, everybody, for being elected to Canaan chair.
have a nice holiday, everyone.
Thanks, everybody.
Bye. Thank you.
Be well. Happy holidays, everybody.
Yep.
And stay
Thank you.
safe.